You know, when we sit down in a dark theater and the lights dim, we usually think about the magic on the screen, the stars, the music, the special effects. But if you pull back the curtain, the Dream Factory itself has a history that is often weirder, darker, and more accidental than the movies it produces. It's a world built on strange coincidences and secrets that most people never think about while they're munching on their snacks. Actually, speaking of the beginning, cinema didn't start with an artistic vision. It started with a bet. Back in 1878, a guy named Leland Stanford wanted to settle a debate. Does a galloping horse ever have all four hooves off the ground at once? He hired a photographer to set up 24 cameras in a row, and when the horse triggered the shutters, they captured the truth. Not only was the horse momentarily airborne, but that sequence of photos became the first heartbeat of the motion picture. A few years later, when the Lumiere brothers showed a film of a train pulling into a station, people didn't just clap. They literally screamed and ran to the back of the room. They were terrified the train was going to burst through the screen. From day one, movies were designed to give us a psychological jolt. It's also funny how we associate the smell of popcorn so strongly with the movies today, because for a long time, it was actually the enemy. In the silent film era, theaters were designed to look like high-end opera houses with expensive, lush carpets. Owners hated popcorn because it was loud and messy, and they didn't want common snacks ruining the vibe. But then the Great Depression hit, and movies added sound. Suddenly, people needed a cheap escape. Popcorn was the only luxury anyone could afford for 5 cents. Theater owners realized that if they didn't start selling it, they'd go bankrupt. So that buttery snack literally saved the film industry from financial collapse. As the industry grew, the art form became more demanding, almost haunting. We see actors today who don't just play a part, they let the role consume them. Think about Heath Ledger locking himself away for months to find the Joker, or Daniel Day-Lewis refusing to leave his wheelchair for an entire production. There's this strange, almost spiritual trade-off where the actor lends their soul to the screen. Sometimes that intensity spills over into the production itself. Take The Exorcist, for example. That set was so plagued by misfortune, unexplained fires that destroyed everything except the exorcism room, and mysterious deaths among the crew, that the director eventually had to bring in a real priest to bless the set. It makes you wonder if some stories don't want to be told. Even the most iconic symbols of cinema weren't supposed to be there. That massive Hollywood sign, it was originally a temporary real estate advertisement that said Hollywood Land. It was only meant to stand for about a year and a half to sell suburban houses. But as the movie business exploded, it became a landmark. They dropped the last 4 letters and a billboard became a monument. It just goes to show that so much of what we love about cinema is a beautiful accident. Even the legends themselves weren't always recognized for who they were. There's a famous story that Charlie Chaplin once entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest just for fun. He didn't tell anyone who he was, and in a hilarious twist of irony, he came in 20th place. I think that perfectly sums up the film industry. It's a place where the real and the fake are so tangled up that sometimes the man himself can't even win a contest for being himself. It's a strange, beautiful, and slightly cursed business, but we keep coming back for more.